Next up.
Next up
Is Abigail Oppong. And Abigail is from Ghana. She's a member of the Ghana Natural Language Processing Group and very enthusiastic about fairness and ethics in AI. So we're going to discuss AI today. And Abigail is also named one of the 100 women in AI ethics in 2023. Abigail, welcome.
Thank you.
Abigail, what makes you so excited about AI?
Yes, I mean, AI has come into the world to help us build things better, and that's something that gets me excited about AI. So with regards to that, my first AI project was in building a language translator from a Ghanaian language to English, and that was when I was able to work on machine learning algorithms to be able to help Ghanaians translate from their local language to the English language. So, I mean, after that, it was exciting to see how, we are able to translate from our local language to other Western languages, which makes it interesting and more for me to engage in AI.
You have prepared a keynote on AI. So I would kindly invite you to take the floor, the virtual podium, and talk us through AI and ethics.
All right, so hi everyone. As already mentioned, my name is Abigail Oppong, and I'm from NLP Ghana, and I'm AI ethics researcher. So today I'll be talking about AI ethics in business for entrepreneurs. And my outline for today's presentation is to talk about what AI ethics is, the principles of AI ethics, importance of AI ethics for entrepreneurs in business, and also talk about the challenges and strategies for using AI ethics. So what then is AI ethics? I mean, AI has been in the world. There are so many applications that are being built by AI, but just as humans, we cannot talk about AI without talking about AI ethics. So AI ethics is therefore refers to the set of moral principles and values that is used to guide the development and use of AI technologies, and particularly is concerned with ensuring that AI systems are designed in a more responsible way. Now, to the principles of AI ethics, I have this from the World Economic Forum, which highlights 9 possible principles of AI ethics. So first is accountability. In building an AI system, you should be able to know who is accountable for the system in case there is an error or inaccuracy. Should it be the machine or should it be the human? And then there is an issue of also data privacy. When an AI system is built, I mean, when people start using your system, the AI system will generate data. And in this case, you should be concerned about how you're protecting the rights of the users and also how you're protecting them from third parties who might want the data for their bad use. And there have been a lot of laws from different parts of the world. I mean, in Africa here, we are now trying to develop ours, but then it's also a key thing in making sure that you obey the laws that is set in your community or your nation or the government, the laws that the government has set, to be able to make sure that you are complying with the AI system. And of course, your AI system should also be reliable. If you build the AI system to help translate from one language to the other, it should be reliable in such a case that if users start using it, they will be able to rely on it to be able to translate the language in which they are translating to. And then it should also be safe for people to use. And in building AI system, most of the time we say, okay, we are feeding data into the machine for the machine to, help us make work easier, faster. But then there's also an issue with human agency. There should be human, ideas, and then human at the back of the machine in an ethical manner. And then there's an issue with also transparency and then fairness. You should be transparent in dealing with your users. For instance, you should help them know how the system was built, and also help them and then inform them on how their data is being used in the system. So today I'll be talking about AI ethical dilemmas in agriculture and then health. So we all know some of the applications of AI in healthcare, in helping with medical image diagnosis, health recommendation systems, and also diagnosis of diseases, and even health chatbots, which is used in various hospitals. Then there comes the accountability issues. For instance, when an AI system predicts a disease wrongly, and then the patient tends to maybe lose his or her life, who is accountable for this error? And when it comes to inaccurate representation of collected data, most of the time, there is the issue of inaccurate representation of data, because, for instance, if you are dealing with users, global users, and then probably you take users' data from maybe the Europe or the US, and then you leave the other continents or countries behind. That means that when it comes to a case whereby maybe as an African, maybe preparing to use your system, that means that there will be an error in prediction. And also when it comes to farmers are really concerned about how their data is used on the farm, because when it gets into the third party, that means that it's really going to, I mean, be of bad use in the society. Now, let's talk about the importance of AI ethics in business. When you are able to implement AI ethics in your business, you'll be able to, I mean, boost your reputation, and also you tend to, I mean, comply with the laws that are built for the systems. And then there is also an advantage that you have with your competitors in the market. And of course, there will also be a customer trust. And with this, you also mitigate risks, which you'll be able to escape, because for instance, now if you escape it right now, in the future or years to come, that means that you're going to pay like more amounts of money to be able to solve the situation. So it's better to mitigate risks now. Now, I've been talking to, I mean, some young entrepreneurs in Africa here on some of the challenges that they think when it comes to implementing AI ethics they face. And one of the top issues has been with balancing ethics with profitability. I mean, they set up the businesses to make profits, but then they feel like AI ethics is kind of slowing down their maybe their implementation, and then maybe their business. And then also most entrepreneurs that I talk to lack the expertise of AI ethicists, because this is a new field that is coming up with the development of AI. And then when it's also come with keeping up with ethical considerations, I mean, day in, day out, there are different kinds of AI systems that are coming up, and people are kind of really confused and also filled with so many information. So keeping up with this ethical consideration also becomes an issue. And then of course, there's an issue with data privacy on how they'll be able to protect their customers and users. Now, so I will highlight some of the strategies that we can help or we can use in making sure that we overcome these challenges that I've already mentioned. So one is building an ethical framework. There are so many frameworks nowadays that are being built, especially by the EU and then by some organizations out there. You can look for one and then build one for your company or organization that you can use. And then of course, there should be a diverse stakeholders when it comes to customers and also managers of the company, so that when it comes to contribution, everyone will be able to contribute to the company. And then there is ethical risk assessment. I mean, if you have an AI system, as time goes on, you should be able to assess the risks of the system and probably monitor it and then evaluate it and then try to change things if you feel like there's like an issue of bias in the system. And of course, be updated of the ethical consideration. I mean, the talk is on and on. And so you should be able to, I mean, keep up to date with some of the ethical considerations out there. Yes, so thank you. This was a brief talk. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you, Abigail. It's really enlightening, and it also really connects with the previous speakers, and I think it's a very important topic that we need to address while adopting AI. So thank you for that. Marcus, you had a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, the ethical standards, across the world, do we all define ethics the same way, or are they different levels? Let's say Asia versus Europe versus Africa versus North and South Africa. Do we think that the same thing could be ethical in Asia and unethical in the United States? Could something like this happen?
All right, so for me and for now, I think probably having an ethical definition of a specific group of people is a great, because when I started working with NLP Ghana, I realized that some of the ethical issues that probably I voice out is different from what may be in a country, let's say in Germany. So in looking at this, we can have a standard ethical frameworks and then tools for specific groups and specific countries. And then, there can be a general one, but then there should be like a sub one for maybe people from Africa or people from the Europe or people from the US. We all live differently, we all behave differently. And for representation to really come on board, we should have, sub committees or sub people developing this ethical AI based on how best it will help the people in the specific environments.
Yeah, because I really wonder, so we could have different standards, and at the same time, we have 1,000 tech leaders right now, including Elon Musk, saying we need to halt development of genie that is already out of the bottle, right? How to get genie back into the bottle? Can we actually do this? And on the other hand side, should it be tech leaders who say what's kind of the framework, or should it be the UN and we try to get a global reach? Is it a politics or business?
Basically, that taps also into a question that we got from Scott. Who defines ethics?
Who defines ethics?
All right, that's actually a good question. And that's something that, when AI ethics researchers, when we are working, we really pay much attention to. So for me, it's basically on the work and also in the community. For instance, I'm in the Ghana community, and when I'm developing probably frameworks for developers to use in developing the translator systems, I build frameworks that I know will help Ghanaians as a whole. So it's probably a leader, a tech community that can help to develop these AI ethics frameworks.
How is it perceived in Ghana itself? Do you see it as a great pool of opportunities? Is there, as we sometimes see it in Europe, Italy banned ChatGPT? Do you see it as a risk? How is your perception in Ghana, specifically on AI and the usage of AI?
I don't know whether you can repeat your question.
Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely. So we Europeans sometimes see AI as a risk, right? Italy actually banned the access to ChatGPT. And there are other countries where it's like, this is a great set of opportunities. And I was wondering, how does Ghana's society actually sees the opportunities in AI? Is it more an opportunity and a positive thing, or is it more a risk thing? How do you see this in Ghana?
Yeah, so for me, I would say it's a 50-50 thing. So, we see much opportunity in AI, but on the other hand, too, we see a lot of dangers, because over here, one issue with developing AI tools is the lack of resources and the lack of data. Because when you build an AI system with a lack of data, that means that there's an issue with representation, and then a particular group in the community may tend to suffer from that. And so for me, I mean, there are some young entrepreneurs who are coming up with an amazing ideas, but then the issue has also been with the lack of resources for them to build robust AI system that will serve the community. So for me, it's 50-50. And then I think if we are able to really watch out for these ethical issues in AI, then I mean, we will be at the 100% or probably 80%, and then move forward with AI.
I understand.
Yeah. So we have been discussing AI in health. Of course, on the African continent, in not every country, the health situation or the healthcare is up to standards, or at least up to standards that we are familiar to. Is AI a tool to help and support medical doctors or nurses to deliver better healthcare on the African continent?
Yes, of course. So as already mentioned, there are several entrepreneurs who are doing great job when it comes to implementing AI, and of course, healthcare. So, and it's normally depends on the medical professionals. For instance, you have to really train them well to be able to use it in the way that you want them to use it. Because as a developer, you will develop the system, but then it's up to probably the doctors to make sure that they are using it the right way. So there are a couple of startups that have started working on AI in health, and which they are really doing great work. And sometimes the issue that arises from this system is that probably they may have the developers who built the system coming from maybe Europe or the US. And in this case, the data that they are using may be kind of be a misrepresentation, which will affect the people or probably the patients that the doctors are treating. And this is an issue that we are all advocating for and also talking about. So I know in version of these startups and also a better version of the work that they are doing here.
So you get a bias in the system and maybe misdiagnosis and therefore mistreatment.
Yes. So the thing with the AI in health system over here in Ghana that I know of. So sometimes, I mean, it's a system, it's a machine that is trying to predict something. So as a medical doctor, you should be able to also have more knowledge on how probably the outputs of the prediction is made. For instance, if you're expecting, in a real life, you're expecting an output of B, and then you see A, you should be able to tell that, no, there is an issue with this AI system, and so it needs to be worked on.
In terms of for agriculture, because that's other application where AI can be used heavily, are there any ethical questions using AI solutions in agriculture, in particular in Africa?
All right, so in Africa, most of the issues has been with, I'll talk about my work, which is on detecting gender bias in translated systems. So over here in Africa, there is this stereotypes exactly as maybe in Europe or the US. There is this perception that probably as a woman, you have to be in the kitchen, and then as a man, you have to go to school. So, I mean, the data are collected from the community, and sometimes this data or the AI system also try to inhibit these biases in the data, which can cause harm to the female child, and also kind of not allow them access to education because of these systems.
We lost you for a sec, Abigail. Can you repeat it?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
Could you repeat the last sentence you said?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So I was I was saying, probably with the work that I do with gender bias in translation systems, there has been an issue whereby when I test the systems and I say maybe he is a doctor and she is a doctor, the translation quality for he is a doctor may be higher than she. That means that it's kind of inhibiting biases from the society. Since most of the data we collect, since we need representation, we might want to collect it from the people or from the community, and this may also have biases that I'm working on to really kind of solve this issue. I mean, and in trying to solve this issue, I also make sure that I analyze the data very well, the text data, to make sure that there's no kind of hate speech against any specific gender in the course. Because I mean, if a system is not able to predict a female or other groups as a doctor and only focusing on male, that means that there's a problem, and then it's going to affect the other genders.
Do you know what it reminds me of, Robert? What
Tell me, Marcus.
Suchi earlier said in terms of, and you asked her about the bias in terms of the melanomia, right? For the white males, basically, work well.
Darker skin, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, darker skin, and then it's really a bias because usually for all the AI system, it's crap in, crap out, if I may say it this way, right? It's very hard to expect the AI system to make up for this bad data, or how do you see that, Abigail? Still here?
Hello?
Yeah. I was saying, like, so basically you're saying we have this data and we put in, bad data. There's no way the AI can kind of fix this, right? So do I see it correctly that basically we as a society first have to fix our issue and not rely on AI to fix our issues? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. I mean, we are the developers behind the machine trying to help build these technologies to help solve society problems. And so we should be careful on how we feed the systems and also work around the kind of data that we collect. Because anytime for NLP Ghana, anytime probably we gather people and then collect data, we make sure that we go through the data and then analyze them, and then also fish out some key things that we think may inhibit bias in the systems. So, I mean, it's from the society as a whole, it's from humans. We all have biases, and then if we really want to kind of, break this bias and also make sure that the system are free from these biases, then, we should also look at it in every stage of the development of the AI systems.
Yeah.
We ask to all our speakers the biggest takeaway that we should remember. So what is your takeaway for us entrepreneurs? What would you suggest?
Yes, so today for my takeaway, I'll just tell every entrepreneur to really take AI ethics very seriously. I mean, every time I talk to entrepreneurs, the issue of probably AI ethics being an issue of profitability becomes an issue. And I mean, when you don't solve these ethical issues in your AI systems now, in the near future, it's really going to cost you. So it's better you do it right now than to probably bear the heavy costs in the near future. So that would be my last word.
And on that bombshell, thank you for sharing your expertise and your experience.